What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Thank you all so much, and hopefully you all are enjoying this beautiful Saturday morning or afternoon or evening, wherever the heck you guys are watching this at. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit different of a time than what I'm used to going live streaming at, but yeah, I'm up and I'm ready to do some stuff here, man. Van Albright, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Smokey Dabs, what's up, man? What's up from Salt Lake City, Utah? What's up, man? What? So it's like 8:30 over there right now? Hey, but listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in right now. I got up this morning, was able to do a couple things, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get on this stream and, just kind of talk a little bit about a bunch of different things and kind of chill out, have some fun with you guys. So do me a favor. Anyone that is watching right now, wherever you're watching, be sure to like the stream. Helps it get out to more people wherever it is you guys are at. Make sure to comment in the comment section. I'd love to be able to just have a discussion with you guys today. Going to be going for about an hour. But be sure to let me know what you guys would like to talk about. I will be discussing practically anything. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate the support. Give me 1 second here, guys. I got to text Cody. He is on a trip, and I need to inform him of something. How do you guys feel about Houston getting Diggs? That's going to make for a tough division game. Yeah, so that was definitely the big thing this last week, right? That was the big thing, right? Where the Indianapolis Colts, we have now another person that's going to make it difficult for the Indianapolis Colts to win the division. Yeah, I mean, phenomenal pickup by the Houston Texans. Again, Stephon Diggs is not going to be a guy that's going to be around the league for 4 or 5 years. Or at least if he is, he's not going to be a top 5, top 10 wide receiver for all of them. But certainly as it is right now, no doubt 100%. It is a great move. This is a guy that can get you 100 receptions every year. He can get you over 1,000 yards easy and can get you close to a dozen touchdowns. So that's huge, especially for a quarterback like CJ Stroud, who, knows how to throw the football. So I definitely am concerned about it, but I have a good strong feeling that it's going to take a little while to get it figured out. And I mean, listen, there's a lot of things that can happen with Stephon Diggs. Okay. It can happen. And there's some things that could, make this go away for, but I mean, at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we're still figuring it out. The secondary is young. The secondary can improve. I do believe that we have guys that can get better. And I'll tell you what, whenever Stephon Diggs has played against the Indianapolis Colts, he's not beaten us. Yeah, I mean, he's not been the killer of the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways we can go about this. What's up, Terry Davis? How you doing, man? What up, man? Derek, do you think MPJ will have a breakout season if Richardson stays healthy? I don't necessarily think he's going to have a breakout season. I think that last year, besides the touchdown numbers, I think that's kind of similar to what we can get from Michael Pittman every single year. We can get a guy that can get you just over 100 receptions a year, can get you 1,200, 1,300 yards, can get you 6 to 8 touchdowns like a Stephon Diggs normally does. Like, I know we can get that from him. But that's the thing is it's just he's had to do that with so many different quarterbacks, right? So that will definitely be something that is going to be interesting to see how much Anthony Richardson goes to Michael Pittman. What's up, Trenton? Content always great. Love the time you guys put in checking in from Moorhead, Kentucky. Well, thank you, Trenton. I appreciate that. Diggs, Collins, and Dell. Houston making money moves. Oh yeah, that three piece right there might actually be the best three piece in the NFL now. Honestly, I'd take Tank Dell over Tyler Boyd, Nico Collins, and T Higgins. After what we just saw this year, I think Nico Collins is right on that same level, and Stephon Diggs maybe not as great of a wide receiver as Jamar Chase is from an athletic standpoint, but production wise, he's almost as good. So, I mean, that they got maybe the best three-headed monster and wide receivers that anyone has. Wait to see what we do in the draft. You might be pleasantly surprised. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm surprised. I hope that we can get somebody worth a damn when it comes to the draft. You know what I'm saying? I really, really hope that that's what happens. So, also, I know I'm a little behind on this, but why did we let Moss go? Well, here's the deal though. I don't think it had anything to do with the money. My guess is that the Colts were probably offering him very similar money. The only problem is the Bengals probably told Moss that, hey, we're getting rid of Mixon. Like, you come over here, sure, it's not amazing money, but you're going to be the number one guy when we're over here. And that probably intrigued him. He wanted to be a number one running back if he could. And he deserves it. After what he did last year, he's 100% in a situation where he deserved that spot. Also, shout out to the 150 people watching across X and YouTube. Make sure to go follow. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, I mean, for some players, the opportunity to be a number one is bigger than the money. I mean, at the end of the day, the money was the money, but he was getting a shot at being a number one. And especially since he's so young, to be playing for a team like Cincinnati that's a true contender. I mean, that's a great opportunity for him. Plus Mixon in the backfield, shake my head. Yeah, Joe Mixon being in the backfield definitely is that is definitely a that is definitely something. I'll tell you what. Colts are shot. I wouldn't say that, Ed. We have a good shot at anything here in this division, honestly. A lot of things go wrong for a lot of different teams. Indy has a chance just as much as anyone. Now, did other teams increase their odds? Yeah, they did. But Indy's got a chance to run it back and do something special. Do you think we pick a running back in the later rounds? Yeah, absolutely. I could see it because, yes, Jonathan Taylor's there. They have high expectations for Evan Hall to provide something as long as he doesn't get injured in the offseason again. But when you're talking about that second or third running back spot, 100%. 100%. And there's a bunch of running backs in the fourth or fifth round that Indy could go with that could really add something to this team. 100%. And I mean, not even Blake Corum. Like, I mean, we're talking about Braylon Allen. We're talking about a couple other guys. That one Isaiah kid from Louisville that's really high in the RAS score that I really like. That's fair. I respect that. It's basically why Minshew left too. Yeah, I mean, but the only difference is Minshew got a bag when leaving too. So like, there ain't no way that the Indianapolis Colts were going to pay him $25 million to be a bench quarterback. You know, so not only is he getting paid good bucks to go and compete for a starting spot with the Raiders, that's one of those situations where he just he had a chance to win the spot and get paid good money for it. It was a good opportunity for him. This means it's Evan Hall time. Hey, never know. The AFC South is definitely not the laughing stock of the league anymore. No, sir. We might be one of the most competitive divisions in football now, honestly. Talk about the three-headed monster in Jacksonville and Houston and Indy, and then the Titans ain't gonna be that far behind either. They're not gonna be far behind. So, I mean, that's definitely true. We're very close. Need better DBs. I understand. Maybe there's something that still happens, you know? I think 10-7 and 11-6 is reasonable expectation for us. We have good players. I even said 10-7, and I think that could get you a playoff spot if we do. So I think that's very plausible. I'm playing Madden 24 for the first time. I'm 10-0 with the Colts right now. I'm playing the Bucks now. Nice. I love I used to love playing Madden. Michigan Wolverines, my guy. Good morning, Derek. Already hit the like button. I'm just ready for the draft and season already. Absolutely. But bless you, man. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, thank you so much for hitting that like button. Everybody do what Michigan Wolverines did here. Be sure to hit that like button, man. Thank you for the support, dude. I greatly appreciate you. We went all in on continuity. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and who knows? Maybe there's still a guy that gets added to the secondary. There has to be somebody added to the secondary at some point, whether that's through the draft or through free agency still has to be. But no doubt that the Indianapolis Colts are running with the continuity of this group and think that as they go along, that it's going to improve. Ruben in here. What's up? CJ Stroud to Stephon Diggs. Man, hey, yo, Ruben, you wanna join? You wanna join the stream? I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to chat with you. Let me know if you want to, man. We can hop in here if you want to. Julian Blackmon highlights time. Bro, I can't wait. Julian Blackmon gonna have himself a day this year. If Joe Flacco must play, I trust him better than Minshew. I do too, even though Joe Flacco stunk it up against the Houston Texans, man. We're turning into the AFC North. Can every team in the AFC South compete? I'd say the only team in the AFC South that you have to place a little bit of doubt on is the Titans right now. Only because, yes, they've gotten all this talent. Yes. But this new coach, he's a rookie, right? He's a rookie head coach. We'll see how he does. And Will Levis, still wondering about the tires on this kid. Now, we can say the same thing about the Indianapolis Colts, but the Indianapolis Colts with a rookie head coach and Gardner Minshew still almost made it to the playoffs. You know, so you can say that for that. And the Jags, obviously, you know that you can do that. And, of course, the Houston Texans are the favorite right now. So, yeah, I mean, outside of the Titans, but even I do know the Titans could compete if everything goes the way they need it to. But there's a little bit more hesitancy on that side. Nate Wiggins and no one else in the corner. Terry, I know you love Nate. You love yourself some Nate Wiggins, bro. If that happens, I can't wait to see what your reaction is. All right, I'm bringing Ruben in here, my guy. All right, I'm bringing Ruben in, guys. 713 Houston Sports. If you guys don't know him, he's a Houston content creator for our AFC South round table. I love this guy. He's really awesome. But he probably gonna come in here. He gonna say some shit, all right? But it's all right. We're gonna have fun with it. Do you really believe the Colts can trade down? Yeah, absolutely they can. 100%. Jalen Jones. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. A morning stream. What's up? Let's go, Mr. Colt. What's up, man? Unpopular opinion, but Wood is my favorite Colts player. I'm excited as hell what he'll do this season. Oh, yeah, 100%. Me too, dude. If we take Wiggins, you have to let me co-host a post-draft show. I'll definitely bring you on the show for a few minutes if the Colts end up taking him. I will 100% bring you on. We'll wait for Ruben to get in here. It shouldn't be too much longer. Maybe we'll do like a live, or we'll do like a mock draft simulator as well. Are you and Cody doing a live draft stream? Yes, we will be. We will be live for every day of the draft. Same way we've done it over the last several years. We will be doing that again. So again, yeah, for all the draft news, everything that happens, we're going to be live during the whole draft. We're going to be doing videos. We're going to be doing recaps, all of that stuff. So yes, it's 100% going down. Make sure you guys are there for all of that. I just hope it's not Bowers. I would love Bowers. I would love Bowers on this team. Almost bet Ballard trades down, though. Just about bet. And he takes Xavier Worthy. Hey, listen, if they trade down in the late first and acquire an extra second rounder or something, then, hey, listen, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I like Xavier Worthy. I just don't know if they really like him that much for that spot, but I could see Brian Thomas Jr. or something. All right, let's bring in my guy Ruben here real quick. Hold up. Here we go. There he is.
What's up, pimp?
All happy because I got another all-star wide receiver. Hey, how you doing this morning, man?
Man, dude, I went to the club last night, bro, and it was a scene. Woke up and I was like, you know what? I brushed my teeth and I was about to start cleaning the house and saw you were live. So I was like, let's tune in. Let's see what we got going on. And hey, we're here, brother. We're here.
Appreciate you hopping on, man. I love it when you guys hop into the streams, man. But hey, listen, I didn't get a chance to watch your roundtable stream the other day. You guys talking about Stephon Diggs and whatnot. Why don't you go ahead and break it down for everybody that's in here right now? What was your immediate reaction to that news breaking?
I mean, I screamed, dude. Like I work from home and I had just got off a call and I see on Twitter, Texans gets Stephon Diggs. I mean, I almost dropped my whole table. I jump up, I scream, and I'm like, we just got Stephon Diggs. And then you see the trade compensation, right? You traded next year's second round pick that you got from the Minnesota Vikings from trading back. You also got a 5th round pick. You got a 6th round pick. And it's up here in H-Town. And then yesterday, there was a deal. Now, I don't know the specifics, but they voided the last 3 years of his contract, meaning we only have Stephon Diggs this year, just 1 year, and that's all. We are going for it all. A lot of Texans fans were kind of upset, saying, well, you kind of wanted that control of Stephon Diggs, and I see what they're saying, but I kind of see it also as like, their argument was, let's say he balls out. He has 1,400 yards, and he wants a big contract. Right. You're not going to be able to give that to him because you also have to pay Nico Collins next year. That's why you wanted, the control of him over these next 3. My response was, what if he does have that big year? You do have him for these remainder 3, and he becomes that Stephon Diggs that we know, that diva, that locker room cancer. So I think these 3 years voided kind of tells them, we are giving you an opportunity to win a ring and get yourself at 31 years old a big final payday before you retire. let's go, bro. It's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so they're saying that after this year, his contract's null and void, so
You
he
go
can
wherever he
hit free
wants.
agency after that.
Absolutely.
Man, I'll tell you what. I mean, that's definitely interesting. That will be interesting to see if Houston tries to keep him around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because I know you had posted that in our group chat for like a few weeks earlier, saying like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this could possibly be a thing." We all thought you were full of shit, which is okay. But then I got a text from my brother while I was at work, and he said, well, the Colts ain't winning the division this year. And I was like, oh, great. What happened? And then the first thing I see Diggs to Houston, I'm like, oh man, that stinks. And then I'll tell you what, it has been hilarious watching a lot of Colts fans just absolutely lose their minds on the Colts
It's
for
not
not
just
getting
you,
Diggs. It's
bro.
like
It's the
when it,
Titans, it's the Jags, and I was telling my friend last night, I was like, bro, this move shook up the AFC South to the point where Christian Kirk tweeted out, "So what? We're just gonna lie down and just let them move the ball over us." You know, he's like, "Where's the faith?" Then you see Josh Allen from the Jaguars liking a tweet that says, "The Texans went all in, the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't." And that's my problem. We have players, man, already understanding what the hell this Houston Texans team is doing, and that it's getting ready for a Super Bowl run. And you know, when we had that conversation last month, I was like, boys, I heard that Stephon Diggs was talking to a former Houston Texan wide receiver about the city, about the team. And I'm like, well, the only dude who could be that retired guy is Andre Johnson, who was getting into the Hall of Fame that
right.
weekend. So the rumblings, and they kept on going, right, for like the past month. And you see Antonio Brown in his CT ESPN, and he's saying that it's Stephon Diggs. It's Stephon Diggs. He's dropping edits and of Stephon Diggs in the Texans uniform. Nothing happens for about 2 weeks. Then the past 2 weeks, right? You see moves that save the Houston Texans money, a restructure of Shaq Mason's contract, and a restructure of Titus Howard's contract. So we knew a move was coming. I just did not think it was going to be Stephon Diggs. And you see Joe Mixon, he tweeted out as soon as the deal was announced, you asked us a couple of weeks ago and we delivered. Now let's go get these rings. So I'm like, this has been a plan for almost, it seems like, since the Pro Bowl. And we still were in another trade involved to almost get Keenan Allen. It just was the Chargers decided to send him to Chicago instead of the Houston Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out again to the 270 people watching across Twitter and
The
YouTube.
200 victims that are about to see CJ Stroud
Yeah,
dice up
nah,
the
man, we
Indianapolis
ain't about to
Colts.
deal with that. But yeah, man, listen, it definitely provides a bigger picture thing here.
Mm,
You're right. The Houston Texans they saw year one and they said, that's enough. We know what we have here already. Pretty insane to think that it is pretty insane to think that, CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans in year one,
mm,
have already instilled that much faith into the Houston Texans front office to say, we have everything we need now to be able to just go with this. Um, It'll be interesting because, like you said, the Super Bowl window for them is now.
yeah.
I wouldn't say, obviously, after this year or two, this like 2 or 3 year stretch they're about to go
Mm-hmm.
on, they'll still obviously have other opportunities after that. But it definitely right now will be the next best time, because when that 2 or 3 year stretch goes away,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to reset a little bit, because you're
Absolutely.
going to lose Diggs, you're going to lose Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to lose some of these depth pieces that you guys brought in. Mixon's not going to be at that level anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Like, it's kind of one of those, like, we're sacrificing the youth of this team just to say, let's go all out, because,
So
we
I
have
think
the
you have the
quarterback and
youth,
everything
right?
else.
I think you have the youth. You have your quarterback, CJ Stroud. You got two number one wide receivers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell. On the defensive side, you got the defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson. You have Derek Stingley, who just came off 5 interception season. Like, there is youth, and I think that's what attributed to this team going all out. And I did not expect this type of free agency from this Houston Texans organization. We have this saying here called same old Houston Texans. What that means is this team will never rise to the occasion. This team will never make the big move. They won't take the risky move. And they did that this whole offseason, man. They brought in 3 legit players, and the Houston Texans were the first team in NFL history to bring in a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard running back, and a player with double-digit sacks. And you added that type of talent to this Houston Texans offseason. And those weren't your only signings. You got Azeez Al-Shaair from, the linebacker from Tennessee. You also got in Danico Autry. You got Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson. I mean, they're battling for the number 2 spot. So 2 busts going at it, having a mid-off. However, there was talent added, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it is definitely interesting. It definitely makes it to where you guys are 100% favorites. I mean, we just kind of put so far it's kind of funny because like every single team has kind of had a different outcome of this free agency so far. Yeah. So you guys went all in. You guys are clearly the favorites, right? The Jaguars lost a lot of their talent. They try to replace it with a bunch of guys that really aren't as good as what they should have been, what they had before. So they upgraded in like the line, but they didn't upgrade with weapons. And then Indy virtually has done nothing. They're just running it back with the same unit. They have a feeling that Anthony Richardson's going to be enough to.
How do you feel about that?
Over it, huh?
How do you feel about that, honestly?
Well, I mean, I have full confidence that if Anthony Richardson remains healthy, that he can help us stay competitive in the division and have a chance at winning it. It's just I've been on both sides of this. I have confidence that this team is still going to do well next year because they had a winning season with a backup quarterback and a rookie head coach that, had no business being as good as we were. And now we have this dynamic playmaker at quarterback, another coach that's a year older into the system. I have faith in that. But at the same time, I get it just like every other Colts fan that like, hey, all these other teams are trying to upgrade, but like we just aren't, at least from free agency standpoint. I mean, maybe we still get a Quandre Diggs. Maybe we still get a Justin Simmons or a Xavier Howard or someone that can go out there and, put this team in an upper echelon when it comes to helping the defense out. But I mean, we won't know for a little while, I'm guessing. And then you have the Titans who, they're making all these moves. But I think you and I both can sit here and say that like they were so far behind everybody else that even with all those moves, the ultimate piece is going to be Will Levis. And if Will Levis ain't the same, then it's going to be interesting to see how far they actually come. So,
dude, I've been in a battle with Tennessee Titans fans. They have convinced me they're going to be second in the division, all because of L'Jarius Sneed. I have you guys behind us. Like, I would not be surprised if we drop a game in Indy. It's gone that way, since the entire organization's birth. But what I think your free agency was, I understood it, but it left me wanting more, right? Like last year for the Houston Texans, we didn't sign any big free agents, but we brought in these mid-level guys. We brought back some people, and we kind of told them, hey, you ball out. There is a future for you here. And with Anthony Richardson, man, I would have loved to see another running back. I would have loved to see another wide receiver, man. Get these young guys as much weapons as they possibly can. I mean, they did it with Will Levis, right? They gave him Calvin Ridley. They gave him Tony Pollard. And I feel like that should be the blueprint going forward, is building around your quarterback while you have him on that rookie contract.
I mean, it's going to be one of those things, man. I felt the same way with the Indianapolis Colts this time around because we were all saying the same thing. Like the the Indianapolis Colts, they have this rookie quarterback, and the Colts are saying, oh, like we have confidence that Anthony Richardson is going to be this dynamic player that's going to elevate this team to where we want it to go. And I just sit there and I say, well, if you truly believe that, why are you not going and making more moves to try to fix that? Now, I do see the point of them saying like, well, because he's still young, he's still trying to figure it out. But the difference is because CJ Stroud hasn't figured out. We know this. He played an exceptional year, one of the best rookie years that we've seen in NFL history. He hasn't figured out. They know. So they can go right at it. And I think that they're still trying to make sure that Richardson has it figured out before they make the big one and not throw all this new people in at him sort of thing. But then I counter back to that argument and I say, well, if
you're not setting him up
you have the confidence, then why ain't you? Then you're doing nothing, which means that you're not insanely confident, or you're just being hypocritical to that. And Ballard has been hypocritical to this offseason because the one thing he loves to say a lot is it's never about one guy. When specifically you are saying that this one guy, your quarterback, now albeit the quarterback is a huge difference maker, but you are saying that it's the quarterback that is going to ultimately make this team, whether or not it breaks or it succeeds, is going to be on Anthony Richardson's hands. Well, then you are saying it's about one guy, and not to mention you're making it about basically a rookie that is having to figure it all out at the same time. So it just seems like a lot to put on the hands of Anthony Richardson, who's still trying to figure out his game at the NFL level.
Dude, no, I agree. And if the Houston Texans would have ran it back with just Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and they would have just drafted a running back and said, we believe in CJ Stroud to elevate this talent, I would have been upset. You know, it's a year-to-year league, and like that statement is true. If you were good last year, that doesn't mean you're going to be good this year. And to me, you know, like you said, CJ Stroud figures it out. Dude, the clock's already ticking for me. So I can only imagine how that clock is for you, because if you do have to wait another year, then it's now year 3. And then you have to make a decision in 2 years whether to give them that 5th-year option, whether to give them that big contract extension, man. I would have thought you guys would have just brought in some more pieces. However, I'm excited to see what AR5 does, man.
It's also another thing where I think we have to remember that this was when the Colts got Anthony Richardson, they were a terrible football team and they were under new leadership with Shane Steichen. And it has changed so much for Colts fans. So in 2022, we're hearing like we're dark horses we're going to win the division. Matt Ryan could have an MVP season once again. And then he turns out to just be god awful. The O-line is trash. The coaching staff looked like they didn't really want to lead this team anymore. Hence why all of them got fired. And then this whole new staff comes in, especially on the offensive side. You draft Anthony Richardson, and then in the span of a year, you win 5 more games the next year than you did the previous. Now you're in contention for the playoffs. Now we were telling ourselves this time last year, regardless of what happens, this is going to be a process. This is going to be a process. We have to wait for it. But now that we're seeing that Indy can compete for this division again, even without Anthony Richardson at the helm, we're sitting there saying, well, we know we can compete now. Let's do something now. Exactly. But the Colts are saying that, no, this is still a process. We still have to wait it out. We still have to make sure that we're making the right steps. So again, I see both sides to this, but I, as a fan, am struggling because I'm just like everyone else. I want this team. I know that this year may not be our year, but I want it to be our year because I still remember vividly that dropped pass and in that game and saying to myself, we were this close.
Great defensive call.
To you being the great defensive call.
Great defensive call.
That would have been a first down and he caught it. Even when he fell, he would have still rolled for a first down anyway.
Mhm.
But you know, the roles would have been flipped for
Mhm.
you and I had that maybe that would have happened, you know. So it's just been hard for me because I'm trying to keep an even keel on it.
Mhm.
But I will say it's definitely going to be it is good for the division to have the Texans doing what they're doing right now, because for both of these teams to be able to be good, that's just great for the AFC South, at least from a
Mhm.
national television perspective. You know, maybe we get more televised games and brings more attention to the AFC South, because it used to just be the Colts ran the show, everyone else was just taking
Yeah.
the back seat. Now it's maybe we have a legitimate possibility that every single one of these teams could possibly win the division.
Yeah. No, I
So,
mean, then that it's crazy because, like you said, you guys did run the AFC South for what felt like fucking 13, 14 years, and now you've seen us win one. You've seen the Jaguars win one. You've seen did the Titans win one? I believe so, right? They did.
it's I think Tennessee won it in like 2017 or some
Oh dear
crap.
Lord.
Or maybe not even. No, it was more recent than that. I think it
Mhm.
might have been like 2019 or something. But like, yeah, it was. Yeah, they're the little kid of this division. They can just go stay in the back seat as far as I'm concerned.
So John Hendricks says, we don't even know AR's full game, and y'all want to go all in, shaking my head casuals. So I ask you, John, are you just gonna let AR-15 struggle? Listen,
Right.
as
Like
when you have a
why
rookie
put all
quarterback,
that effort in, or why have him be the only one that has to make up for everything?
why waste a year? Like,
Yeah,
dude,
especially for everyone else that's on the team right now, you know, like it's I wasn't expecting us to go like do what the Houston Texans are doing,
mhm.
which is do a complete overhaul, which is just basically go and grab like every big name free agent that we can. But I mean, again, remember, you guys stole Daniel Hunter from us. I mean, we
He wanted
offered
to
him
come
more
home,
money.
man.
We offered him more money than you
Mhm.
guys did, but he chose to go back to the hometown. You know, that's just kind of what happens. So,
No, and then I feel like if y'all would have, like, let's say the seasons are reversed. Let's say AR-15 gets to the playoff. Let's say CJ Stroud has the type of season that AR-15 had. You guys might go all in. And that's the thing, that you don't know what the hell is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. At this point last year, all of us were saying, who is going to be our quarterback? For me, it was either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. For you, it was either going to be AR-15 or Will Levis. But
yep.
at this point last year, we did not know what the organizations were going to do. We had a first-time head coach. My franchise got to the playoffs. You were one drop pass away. So what I'm saying is like, dude, just go all in. Because when is the last time we're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of a quarterback on his rookie deal? And this is where I get PTSD, because when we had the redacted quarterback, when we had Deshaun Watson, we didn't do that. We legit said we are going to let Deshaun Watson lead the football team. You got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. You did not bring in a running back. There was no wide receiver too. There was no tight end. Yet Deshaun Watson was leading the league in passing yards. We knew the defense was bad, and what we saw was a Houston Texans team that could not get it done. Your Indianapolis Colts rode into H-Town on Wild Card Weekend and beat us. And the argument was, we did not invest into CJ Stroud. I'm sorry, into Deshaun Watson. So what I've been saying the past 2 months, leading up to free agency, and I'm happy to say that that's exactly what they did, was invest into your quarterback. Look, we know they could be special. We know AR-15 special. You like to bring up those fucking 8 quarters that he played in the middle, at the beginning of the season. So just like you said, this division has a bunch of talent, has a bunch of young quarterbacks. We could see any of these 4 teams win the division, but it's also keeping up with the Joneses. I was looking at what you guys were doing. I was looking at what the Titans were doing. I was looking at what the Jags were doing. And it's like, you made a move. Okay, we're going to make a move also. Now it's a race, dude. Now it's a race because we got to stop the Chiefs. Someone has to, go ahead and take them down. And I feel like
it can't be about trying to compete with each other. It has to be who's beating the Chiefs. That's the number
that's what it comes
one
down
thing.
to. That's exactly what it comes down to, man. And teams that go all out, sometimes it doesn't work out. But what you know is teams that are successful, they have a coach. Shane Steichen's a coach. Have a quarterback, D'Amico Ryans, CJ Stroud, AR-15. Like, I see both our franchises having key pieces to go forward, man.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a lot of fun. And Terry, it definitely irked my nerve a little bit to hear him say that again. Like you said, former scout. Yeah, it's. I had a conversation with one of these other Colts content creators that I'm friends with. He brought on like a former like NFL scout for like the Jets or whatever, and he was telling me how when he was doing his scouting on Anthony Richardson, he had him as like a 4th or a 5th round guy. And like, listen, I get it. Anthony Richardson has, had a lot of work to do. I get it. Everyone said the same exact thing. But I mean, listen, if you have somebody mocked as a 4th or a 5th round guy and everyone else is saying he's a glorified top 10 pick, there's something wrong in the argument there. It's
where did he come from again? Where did he come from again?
I think he said he was a scout for the Jets at one point.
That explains it.
Okay, I'm not gonna badmouth the guy. I'm just saying what he said. So like, I had to explain like why I have confidence in Anthony Richardson moving forward. He says that like there's foot mechanics and fundamentals that he shows that's never going to be fixed, and he's just never going to quite pan out. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I did bring up the stat that I bring up to you guys almost every time we talk about Anthony Richardson, the 10 touchdowns in 7 quarters of 7 touchdowns in 10 quarters of football sort of thing. So it is pretty funny. But we'll see what it is. Basil, bro, okay, Colts, are you going to address you guys talking about how the help you needed while Minshew led a terrible offensive team score more than the Stroud-led Texans? I understand, but like there was also other points when are you talking about for the season? Or are you talking about like for a stretch of time?
I didn't think he threw more touchdowns than CJ.
I mean, yeah, because Stroud didn't get off to a great start. He had a couple of games where he didn't like score as much, and not to mention like the few games where he was gone. Didn't y'all score like 16 points in 2 games without him? Like, I think we got like shut out against the
Browns. That was when Joe Flacco just came in and threw like 3-something. And against the Jets, when he got knocked out, I don't think he
those games don't count, Basil, if CJ Stroud wasn't in the game when that happened. I mean, that's what you're basing it on. You're basing that argument on the Stroud-led offense did not score as much as the Minshew-led offense. I mean, it doesn't matter on the record. We all can say that we know why the Texans lost against the Jets, because they didn't have a game plan going into that game for Davis Mills, and that's why they ended up playing trash. And guess what? Good teams lose to bad teams every once in a while. Guess what? It happens every year. The Chiefs in 2022, when they won the Super Bowl, guess what happened? They got beat by the Colts. The Matt Ryan-led Colts. But in week 3, it happens. Good teams lose to bad teams every once in a while. It happens. So,
yeah, I'm trying to read these comments here, man. They're not giving my team no love, dude.
It is what it is, man. It's the Colts fan base. What you want me to do?
Nah.
But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a very interesting off season because I mean, I don't know what else is actually going to happen. No doubt that the Texans have won the offseason in the AFC
For
South
sure.
for sure. It'll be fun to see kind of what happens with the draft. I'm hoping that we end up having a good one. I mean, what's your guys' first pick?
We don't have a first round pick. So we traded back from 23 and we got number 42. We used the Minnesota Vikings second round pick next year that they gave us to send for Diggs. So we got 2 second round picks. So we're looking at defensive tackle. And to answer one of the questions up there, yes, we could still draft a wide receiver high. We only have, like I said, we only have Stephon Diggs 1 year deal. So that's the beauty of having 2 second round picks. If one of these wide receivers fall, expect the Texans to snap, to get them right away.
Gotcha. It's been a depressing offseason for us, just kind of some slack. And Basil, bro, I have never once sat here and said the Colts need to go crazy on the offensive side for talent. What I have always said throughout this offseason is improving your defense. Because if you improve your defense, then that puts Anthony Richardson on the field more often and helps him to get more reps so he can figure it out. The offense is what you can fix in the draft because there's so many good weapons in the draft that you can add to this team. But I wanted to fix the defense. Oh, here's a good one.
Go ahead.
You fear a Stroud sophomore slump?
Yes and no. Yes and no. So when you look at how this Houston Texan offense was successful, there was no running game into the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So the question below that, right, Tyler has thoughts on Pierce. Pierce in the first 4 weeks showed us he is not the running back that is right for this scheme. He could not understand it. He was impatient and was just looking to hit the hole and put his head down and get yards. That's what he did in his rookie year. The offensive line did not start one game together. Laramie Tunsil, our Pro Bowl left tackle, missed the first 4 with a knee injury. Our left guard, Kenyon Green, was out during training camp, and he ended up missing the season. Our center, Juice Scruggs, we didn't see him till week 9. Our only consistent piece on the offensive line was Shaq Mason, who we just traded for in the offseason and extended him. And Titus Howard, our right tackle, he ended up, end of the season on IR. Our O-line coach, Chris Strausser, you guys' guy, this was his first year learning the Bobby Slowick offense. So I think this O-line is going to get better. You have no running game. You had an injury-filled offensive line. You lost Tank Dell against the Jacksonville Jaguars, yet CJ Stroud still got better. CJ Stroud still led this team to the playoffs on a Saturday at Indy in a playoff environment, steals one from the Indianapolis Colts. Then at home against the Browns with all those problems, just murders the Browns. So I do get scared when it comes to a sophomore slump because it happens to everybody. I'm a Houston Astros fan. Jeremy Pena just went through a horrible sophomore slump last year. Jalen Petrie had a horrible sophomore slump this year. I mean, you could throw in Damian Pierce as well. But this is why you invested. This is why you brought in a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard running back. You brought back Dalton Schultz. You brought back your offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, who was getting interviews for a head coaching job. You also brought back your quarterback coach, Gerard Johnson, who was getting interviews for an offensive coordinator job. You did all those moves on the offensive side of the ball for your quarterback, for CJ Stroud. So I am worried. However, I felt like we did enough to prevent that. And it's all going to rely on CJ, man. But what we know is this kid's a baller and he's special.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't see that being a case because he's such an exceptional player, and even if he slacked off a little bit on the numbers, even just a little bit, I mean, I don't think that would end up happening because, like you said, as long as his entire offensive line is not decimated at the start of the year, He's got a proven running back that 100% can still play at a top 10 level if he remains healthy. You added adding a top 5 wide receiver in the league is absolutely bonkers. And then the defense, from the defensive side of things, and the defense wasn't great for you guys either to start the year. You guys were bad defensively, but you added a couple other pieces in there that definitely can make some good things. So it just is one of those, like, oh, I don't really think it's going to be that much of a slump. I think he probably finishes with numbers very similar to last year, potentially even higher, just depending on.
I put some money on MVP.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, it could. I mean, that's the thing. If Stephon Diggs has a season, even like what he had last year, I mean, people keep acting like he's like done for. I mean, he had like 108 receptions last year for
1,100
touchdowns,
some yards,
which is like his worst season since like 2019. And that's like elite number stuff. Like, I mean, and that was even with last year with Josh Allen like throwing a league high for interceptions last year. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just absolutely hilarious to me. He'll be the only issue you have with Diggs is, yes, he's older. I don't know if the knee is going to be a problem. I mean, people speculate stuff like that all the time. But it's just the diva argument that you have to worry about the most. And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where, like, you're right. CJ Stroud, he 100% can get the ball to him, but but at the same time, Diggs is not going to get 90% of the shares. He's probably going to be like 65%, maybe, but like that'd be at a high note because CJ Stroud has made his case early on for making the right throw, not forcing it to someone. He makes the right throw, and that's why he gets it. And you know, maybe that could be a hindrance to the offense for them, is being like, hey, get me the ball, like me, not Nico, not Tank. I know, but me. And I think that I don't know if that's just because Stephon realized that if he's not getting the football for the Bills, that's why they're not winning games. I think it's going to be the opposite this time around. Most guys, if they're not getting the lion's share, even at the number one, most guys, if your team's winning, then they just simply don't care.
Absolutely.
Or at least don't care as much as long as you're winning. So, but that will be interesting to follow.
No, 100%. And then one question from 241. Are you afraid of Diggs being a locker room cancer? He was a shithead in Minnesota and in Buffalo. 100%. And it will be dumb of me to say I am not worried about it. However, I do like that my head coach is DeMeco Ryans. And in his press conference last year, he said, I want no energy vampires. That's what we don't need.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. You kind of added one in Stephon Diggs, but if one guy can ruin a locker room, was the locker room even good in the first place?
Yes.
And we have leaders on this team. You have Danielle Hunter, who's played with Stephon Diggs. On the offensive side, he has Joe Mixon, Lermington, so they are not going to let Stephon Diggs act any type of way because CJ Stroud is only in year 2. Now we're talking.
You're right, because CJ Stroud is the future.
Exactly.
It runs through CJ. And I agree with you. DeMeco Ryans is one of the perfect guys to handle this because DeMeco Ryans is a proven leader. And I'm sure that there will be a lot of great things where if Diggs tries to cross him in any way, that, hey, like, hit the high road, bro. We were winning without
that 1 year rental
now.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's a matter of if he acts like that diva, we only have him for 1 year and it's okay. Thank you for everything you've done, but I know what I'm building here and maybe you just don't fit the criteria. However, it is 1 year and we are trying to get to the Super Bowl. So you need to lock in. If it doesn't work out here for Stephon Diggs, is it going to work out anywhere else at 31? So he needs to understand himself, bro. This might be your last chance to ever sniff a ring.
And not to mention, you're with a team that's got I think Ryans is already way better of a coach than Sean McDermott. I like Sean McDermott, but I don't think he's a great leader of people, and I don't think his scheme really goes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have a young, energetic head coach in D'Amico Ryans. You have a young phenom quarterback in CJ Stroud, and a roster that is extremely well built. But I mean, I tell you, you're right. If it don't work here, ain't working for you anywhere, bro. So we've caught on to your games. So hey, man, listen. Before we leave here, do you want to do a first round mock draft for all the teams?
Well, let's do it, but I don't have a first round pick, so
I know it's gonna be one of those things where like, hey, we're not gonna be able to do that, but let's just do like how we think the first round is gonna go down.
Let's go.
All right, let's do this. All right, so we're all in agreement here, right? That Caleb Williams is first overall.
Absolutely.
All right, then Washington. Which quarterback they taking?
It's gonna have to be Drake May.
I think so as well. Are we saying the Patriots gonna go with Jaden Daniels here?
Let's do it.
I think that's smart. Now, the Arizona Cardinals would be stupid not to get Marvin Harrison here. Stupid. Now, what do the Chargers do here? I think they get Malik Neighbors because
that's what I was thinking. They lost Keenan Allen. They lost Mike Will. I think they still Mike Will, but they were thinking about releasing him. So yeah, they need some youth. And Quinn Johnson's just a bust. Yeah, they need a wide receiver.
Yeah, they need that wide receiver there.
He fooled everyone.
Giants. What are we thinking here? Are we thinking their biggest needs are wide receiver, cornerback, running back? I'm thinking either
they go JJ McCarthy.
No, fam. No. They're not. They ain't about to pay Daniel Jones $40 million and then still have JJ McCarthy in there.
What if you give him?
Now, I would see a team trying to trade up with the Giants here to maybe try and sneak ahead of people to get JJ McCarthy. But
would you give the Giants Romo Dunze or Brock
Bowers?
I
would think that could be something there. Honestly, they do need weapons, so. Dunze there, Joe Alt too. We're gonna follow Titan Rossi here. He's and Michael Bishop. We'll go with that. Falcons. That's an interesting one. Do we go Dallas Turner here? Because they need.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the first defensive player has to come off the board.
Yeah. Okay. So Dallas Turner there. Now,
number 9.
Bears again.
Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers.
You think they go with that? I mean, they already have a pretty good tight end.
Coleman. Let me see.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to take a risk on an edge, but they do need a weapon.
Let me see.
I don't know. That's a great point because I don't know who's their left tackle anyway.
Let me check.
Obviously, they don't have it up here as a need. So maybe you do get a weapon for Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers. Y'all, what do you guys think of the Bears?
Braxton Jones, that's his name.
Who?
Braxton Jones. Let me see.
What are we thinking, guys? What do we think? I don't think they're going to go corner because they got a decent secondary.
I'm checking his PFF grade.
Y'all, everybody quit fighting amongst each other in here. Ignore the Texans people.
Nah, he's doing that. He had a pretty good season. I mean, hell, bro, let's go ahead and give him
we going with Bowers here?
Let's do it, bro. Just give him Bowers.
All right.
Tight end offense.
Bowers, it's one of my favorites.
You just wanted him to fall to the Colts.
I wanted to fall to the Colts so bad. Oh man. Okay, Jets.
I would go Terrion Arnold here. Put someone opposite of Sauce Gardner.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, and then we going JJ McCarthy here, or we because the Denver Broncos need one too. So
Let's do it.
let's
JJ
do it.
McCarthy
JJ
to the
McCarthy
Vikings.
here.
Broncos. I do like Latu
Yeah, I
from
think Latu
UCLA.
to them might be an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Bro, you think his neck's gonna be okay?
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone be super nervous about that. And I mean, in the Jalen Phillips news, I mean, Jalen Phillips had
Yeah.
that same problem and he came out and was just fine.
Mm.
So I don't think there's an issue there. So we'll go there. All right. And isn't it funny that the Raiders have brought in like 2 different quarterbacks and they still need a quarterback at that spot?
It's just a horrible ran franchise right now, man. You
Broncos
think
should take Penix. No one is selecting Penix in the
mm-mm.
top 15 picks. It ain't happening.
You think they go the offensive tackle from Penn State?
Yeah, I definitely think they should. 100%. Saints. Are we going with
I like Jared Verse there.
Could go with the next best offensive tackle.
Do they need an offensive tackle?
They need offensive line help bad.
Yeah, go ahead, give them that from Oregon State.
All right, so now with everything that you're seeing here, I would love to hear your thoughts on who you think Indy should draft.
If I'm you, I'm stuck between Jared Verse, Quinion Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr., Johnny Newton. However, I've heard a lot of great things about Quinion Mitchell at the Senior Bowl. My friend from the Texans Wire, he had an opportunity to go there, and he said Quinion Mitchell was just shutting down everyone. Had a lot of good reps against Roman Wilson, who was another top guy there. The only thing surrounding Quinion Mitchell was the level of talent he played against. But
like we've seen that argument be disproven time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'0", I think 6'1".
He's 6'1", he's like
195
pounds and had like a 9.8 RAS score. So the dude's an athlete.
Yeah, no, he is legit. So if y'all get a cornerback like Quinion Mitchell, we'll not mind that whatsoever.
I think we probably will. I think Indy might end up trading down, honestly, to acquire more picks. But if they are going to stay at 15 and Quinion Mitchell is still there, then that is a perfect Ballard corner right there. So now here's where it gets interesting because I know nothing about the rest of these teams from behind because I only paid attention to what teams are doing in front of me. The Seahawks here. So they need interior offensive line help. They need a linebacker, a defensive tackle, and cornerback.
We got the OT from Washington there. OT from Georgia.
I don't even know if they don't really need but it doesn't say they need outside offensive line help. They just need interior.
Give them.
What about we have Johnny like Newton? A dark horse and say they just get Johnny Newton?
Yeah, that's
Illinois.
That's literally what I was going to go. Johnny Newton might be the best pass rush defense tackle in this class. He just is a bit undersized, but he has a motor that does not stop, and he will make anyone happy. And fuck, at Jacksonville, 17, do you pair Josh
Allen? I go Nate Wiggins here. I don't know why, but it just sounds like a Jaguar thing to do.
Go ahead and do it.
I'm going to say Nate Wiggins. I say that's a very Jaguar pick.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, Jared Verse.
Defensive tackle. Why is it saying they need wide receiver help? They have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins still.
Because they only have 2, bro. You know you need 3. Like Houston.
They gotta be better than Houston's top 3. The real quick question though, do you think that they have the best trio now over the Bengals?
It's hard to say no. When Diggs had 1,100 yards, Nico was 8 yards shy of 1,300, and Tank Dell, if he didn't get injured, he was on pace for 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. He had around 700 yards before he got hurt against the Jags, and we still had 7 games to go. So on paper right now, this is the best wide receiving trio in the NFL.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm thinking of a few names here, and I think what I think of is either Mims, Brian Thomas, or Byron Murphy here.
Give him Byron Murphy. I think DJ Reader is a free agent and hasn't signed anywhere. Or I think he has. I'm not sure where. Oh, he went to the Lions. He went to the
Lions. So they need that interior defensive line now.
They get
we'll go there. We'll see what happens there.
Jared Verse here.
For the Rams, do we say Jared Verse here?
Yeah,
they do need edge help.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I think they need that edge help, especially with Aaron Donald now being gone. I think they're gonna jump the gun on it. Go Jared Verse there. Steelers.
There you go. OT.
Mims, right? We got to go with Mims. They took a Georgia guy already. They just take the other one. All right. Even though I don't know if they're both right tackles or not, but whatever. Anyway. Ooh, some more offensive line here.
You think we might see a run of linemen go off the board?
I think no. I think they gotta go with. I think they gotta go with a offensive lineman here. Mm-hmm. I just don't know which one of these to pick.
Let's go with the one from Alabama.
All right,
let's protect Tua. Let's keep that lineage there.
There you go. Eagles. Defense and more defense. What cornerbacks are still
I like Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid McKinstry sounds like a very Eagles.
Only guy I see being in the first round.
I totally think Kool-Aid McKinstry is an Eagle. That sounds like a very Eagle-esque thing to do. Okay. Titans.
They got Cooper as a safety on here?
Huh?
They got Cooper DeJean as a safety?
I know, which is weird because he plays safety and corner, but he played a lot more safety at Iowa, but he's done both.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Minnesota.
Yeah, what do they do here?
Dude, they said they need a guard. Do they take who's their center right now?
I have no freaking clue, but
because I know the Cowboys.
It's good enough that it doesn't have a top 5 need on here.
Yeah, you're right. Is there an? Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean,
it
doesn't say they need tackle help.
You want them to? Oh wait. Did they draft JJ McCarthy earlier? Right.
Yeah, they drafted McCarthy earlier, so they need defensive tackle, guard, cornerback, wide receiver.
You want to give him Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, I might as well.
Imagine JJ McCarthy has Jordan Addison. He has Justin Jefferson. And now he has Brian Thomas Jr.
Talk about making it easy.
Plus the tight end in Hawkinson.
Yeah, and
my God.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus. Okay, so Dallas.
The guy from Oregon. They've been talking to the guy for a while now. The center.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Linebacker, cornerback.
Imagine Cooper, the Gene and the green and
they
gold.
Just use the offensive line help and Troy Fatenau.
Let's do it.
Let's just do that. That sounds like a Packers thing to do right now.
Chop. I like Chop.
Chop Robinson at this spot.
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Okay, so Cardinals again. We know they already got the wide receiver. I don't know. Do you see a Cooper DeJean going here, or do you think that's a second rounder?
Oh no,
I still feel like Cooper DeJean's a first round pick.
To the Bills. because they lost both their safeties and cornerback.
Yeah, that's a very true statement.
And so if I'm the Cardinals, who's their other wide receiver, man?
They don't got nobody because they only had Hollywood Brown. Then he got traded to the Chiefs. So do they just double dip at wide receiver? Go like Xavier Worthy or something?
2 in the first round
like
is crazy. 2 in the first is crazy.
I mean, yeah, but if again you trying to go weapons, like you need weapons, and you don't have much of anything right now. And I mean, I feel like there's a team that's 100% going to take Xavier Worthy in the first round.
Do it.
All right, somebody's got to. I don't know who it is, but that somebody's got to, right? All right, Lions. Edge, cornerback, defensive tackle. So basically anything defense. And there's virtually no defensive players that
give them. Let me see. They're not taking Sweat. They're not taking Robinson. They're not. Yeah, no, they're going offense, bro.
You think they got to go offense here?
Yeah, if we're not trading back, okay. The Lions, who's their number 1 wide receiver? Amon-Ra St.
Brown. I don't know if they really have many other wide receivers outside of that, though. I mean, you obviously have Sam Laporta at the tight end. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown. But wide receiver wise, you don't have a ton. Do they go with like a Donnie Mitchell there?
Fuck. Let me see. Well, let me see. AD. Man, yeah, go ahead. I love AD Mitchell.
All right. You see, I'm not a huge fan of AD Mitchell.
I'm
not a huge fan of him as much as other people would like me to be. I know he's got the insane measurables and he's got some of the best traits, but for me, I think it's a character thing. For me, I've seen like the clips and people talking about how he doesn't finish plays and how he's an unwilling blocker. I don't know. It's not a thing I enjoy.
Let's go to offensive tackle here for Baltimore.
All right, sounds good. We just going Tyler Guyton here, or we going interior?
Because I see. Ooh, nah. Let's go Tyler Guyton. Let's go that. Let's do that.
San Francisco. Basically, everything offense or defensive line here, or a cornerback.
Damn, if I'm San Fran. Bro, the guard market is crazy.
It's crazy, like right at the end of the first and early second.
Well, I guess give him a guard. Does Graham Barton sneak into the first?
Let's see here. An RES score of a 9.99? Holy cow. How does an offensive lineman do that? Okay, yep, I'm sold. 9.99. If only we didn't have Quentin Nelson, then I would say that the Colts would probably do that too. And then the Chiefs.
I'm stuck between either Keon Coleman.
Yeah, Keon Coleman
or Latimer Conti.
Best wide receivers. So, like, these top 3, I could see them taking any of them, but I don't think they'll take Ladd.
They take Ladd.
They either take Franklin or Keon. Now, Franklin's a different skill set than Keon Coleman.
Yeah, he's speed. Coleman is go up and get it. I think they get to go up and get it, man. Give the Chiefs Keon Coleman.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna take it there. All right, there we go. Dope. All right, let's see how. Let me see if I can actually they'll actually let me. It won't even let me look at all the rest of these picks here. Full results. There we go. Caleb Williams, first overall. Drake May to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels to the Patriots. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. Malik Neighbors to the Chargers. Roma Dunze to the Giants. Joe Alt to the Titans. Dallas Turner to the Falcons. Brock Bowers to the Bears. Tyrion Arnold to the Jets. J.J. McCarthy to the Vikings. Latu to the Broncos. Fashional to the Raiders. Fuege to the Saints. Quinion Mitchell to the Colts. Johnny Newton to the Seahawks. Nate Wiggins to the Jags. Byron Murphy II to the Bengals. Jared Verse to the Rams. Marius Mims to the Steelers. JC Latham to the Dolphins. We'll have to ask TD about that one. Eagles getting Kool-Aid McKinstry. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Vikings. Jackson Powers Johnson to the Cowboys. Fantanel to the Packers. Chop Robinson to Tampa. Xavier Worthy, we're doing that, going early to the Cardinals. They double dipping. Bills to Cooper DeJean. Adonai Mitchell to the Lions. Tyler Guyton to the Ravens. Graham Barton to 49ers. And Keon Coleman finishing it up with the Chiefs. All right.
7 first-round wide receivers.
We have a feeling it could happen. There's 12 there's 12 to 14 guys that could legitimately be first rounders if you had that argument. But all right, well, I'm gonna end that stream right here, right now. But hey, Ruben, thanks for tuning in this morning and then also hopping on and chatting with me, brother. It's always a pleasure.
Anytime.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Again, let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much. Be sure to go check out Ruben at 713 Houston Sports, because obviously we support our AFC South roundtable boys over here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.